Hello, and welcome to the Oceans Oracle Sunday Tarot Insights reading. My name is Miss J, and I am the Vibrarian. I am here to help you elevate your vibration with positive and uplifting information that I hope that you will find helpful as you come along your path. Today is Sunday, November 20th, 2016. And for our spread, I'm using the Oceanic Tarot by Jane Wallace. We will be looking at ourselves in relationship to the energy of air and our thinking, earth, our manifestation, fire, our energy, and cups, our emotions, and then determining what the final outcome is for us in the spiritual realm and moving forward into next week. I have already shuffled and laid out the cards for the reading. And from what it appears, we are in a position where we have either recently received some form of communication or a message, or delivered a communication or a message to someone. And the reason for this communication, or as a result of what we have heard, we are now standing back to evaluate where we are. We're looking at the landscape and looking at all of the details and the things that are in our awareness, and we are kind of figuring out, do we need to change our strategy? Do we need to refocus our energies? Do we need to make a change as a result of this message that we received? Or have we decided that we need to tell someone something after we have sat back and kind of looked at the circumstances? Now, what this could look like is that we recently have discovered that a friendship, there was someone who might have said something and it got back to us. It could be in the work environment that we've heard something that made us look twice or look back at a situation. And or we might have spoken something out of turn, and now as a result of that, it's caused a change in our environment, and we are needing to stand back and evaluate where we are. And it looks like there has been an energy then of conflict, and it could be that there has been an argument or a challenge between two ideas. Say yourself and another person may have been debating things, because it is talking about there being a conflict, one where someone may be right and someone may be wrong, but even if you're right, it may not be a good thing. There's this idea of, well, I got the last word, but sometimes the last word is actually not the best word that could have been spoken in the situation. But it shows clearly that there has been the energy of conflict and challenge around as you've started to look at your environment. And what the cards are encouraging us to do is to look at being more balanced, rather than to say we won at something, to look to see, are we giving versus receiving or balancing? I would think that we should probably use a more positive energy rather than to get caught up in the energy of conflict and arguments, to say, I'm going to take the high road this time and not get involved in that situation, because it's saying that we possibly could feel like rushing in to respond to this situation in a way that might be rather, I think the word would be haphazard. It could be that we want to rush in and say something to somebody, but it will wind up being a very cutting and harmful response to it. We might be feeling defensive, like we want to tell somebody off as a result of it. But the energy is saying to, rather than to rush in, to be balanced and to step back and be more thoughtful rather than to take immediate action. But if you were to rush into this and to respond without regard to how harmful your words are, then you will actually be contributing to the energy of conflict continuing instead of that energy of conflict being able to be resolved. If you rush in without thinking or say what's actually on your mind rather than balancing it before you engage, then you will be adding to this dynamic of conflict that will continue to recycle itself over and over and over again. So rather than doing that, step back and look at things with maturity. Sit back on your throne, so to speak, and be mature, be rational as you look at what has unfolded and take the higher ground before you respond to anything. Don't respond with the tit for tat kind of energy, because you know as soon as you say something, then someone will feel the need to defend themselves, and back and forth it goes on and on. So the best thing to do when approached with a negative environment at work or at home or he say, she say drama is to not engage in that, to not react, but to be calm, evaluate your circumstances, evaluate the landscape, check to make sure that you are actually in balance rather than upset in your balance by these external things that have happened. And be mature, sit back on your position of maturity and make your decision out of that energy rather than responding to the overall conflict. I am going to also now take a card from the Healing the Mind and Spirit cards by Brian Weiss to see what additional messages are able to come through for us. And the message of the day is, I can forgive others even if they have hurt me. And in the image on the card, you will see that it is a person reaching out to an individual whose body language is very, very tight and dark. And they're reaching out with the energy of sunshine. There's a beautiful yellow coloring. And they're reaching out, and you could tell that it is to actually kind of bear the olive branch or to bury the hatchet. So clearly the message that we have heard this week has been something that has probably touched us in our hot spot emotionally, and we might be offended or deeply hurt that this happened. But rather than responding out of that, we're encouraged to forgive others even if they have hurt me. And it says in the message, forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, it means understanding. So use the balanced energy of giving and receiving to try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, to see if you can understand where they were coming from in the midst of this drama, rather than feeling like you need to keep fighting them. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, it means understanding. And as the final message, I want to see what the Divine Feminine brings forward. And I'm using the Mary, Queen of Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And the message is, blessings Today I count my blessings small and large, and I notice the new gifts that come to me from God. So if we take that energy of standing back and looking at our overall situation and evaluating what is going on, remember to look at the good and not the bad, because even in our struggles and our conflicts, there is always something to be grateful for. Even if you just got an opportunity to really see someone for who they really are as a result of the conflict, it may have been disappointing to learn that, but certainly we can be glad that we know going forward, and we can adjust our relationship with those individuals in a way that it is more balanced for us so that we are not drawn into the drama and the energy going forward. And there's always something for us to look around and be grateful for. I thank you today for spending this time with me and allowing me to deliver this message. My name is Miss J, the Vibrarian, and if you are interested in having a personal reading, you can email me at the contact information in the description box. I wish you much positive energy this week going forward, and that you have the eyes to see the love around you and the ears to hear the beauty that is present in every day. Namaste.